All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into something really cool, a tool that's all about taking you from just using machine learning to truly deeply understanding it. If you've ever wanted to peek under the hood of a framework like PyTorch or TensorFlow, well, this one's for you.
This right here, this is the whole philosophy behind TinyTorch. It's a hands-on educational framework that basically flips the script on how most of us learn AI. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. Instead of just calling a function someone else wrote, you're going to build that function yourself, right from the ground up.
You know that feeling, right? When you get some cryptic out-of-memory error, or you watch your model's loss just go to Nan, and you have absolutely no idea why? This slide just nails the problem that TinyTorch is trying to solve. On the left, it's a total black box. But on the right, you're the architect. You know exactly what's happening because you wrote the code.
So how do we actually get out of that black box? Well, TinyTorch's whole idea is that real understanding, the kind that sticks, comes from building things, not just using them. It's really about changing your mindset from someone who just consumes AI tools to someone who actually creates them.
The goal here isn't just about writing code that runs. It's about developing something called systems thinking. This is where you start to see the entire picture. You start to get why a certain kind of neural network layer is just eating up all your GPU memory, or why choosing one optimizer over another is a trade-off between a tiny bit of accuracy and a massive speed up. That's the skill, right? That's what lets you debug and optimize and really innovate at the deepest level. And the way you learn is built around this really smart three-step cycle. First, you build a component from scratch. Then, you actually use it to solve a real problem. And finally, you reflect on how it all went, thinking about those critical systems questions. It's this loop that makes sure you're not just building code, you're building a real deep engineering intuition. Okay, so what does this whole journey actually look like in practice? Well, think of it as a structured adventure. It's all mapped out across 20 different modules that take you all the way from the absolute basics to some seriously complex, production-ready systems. So you start right at the beginning, in the foundation tier. This is where you build the absolute core of any modern ML framework. We're talking about implementing tensors, the basic data blocks, and the automatic differentiation engine. That's the magic, the thing that lets models learn from their mistakes. It's the bedrock for everything else you're going to do. Then, once you have that foundation, you move to the architecture tier, and this is where you use your own code to build some modern marvels. You'll put together convolutional neural networks to recognize images, and even the attention mechanisms that are the powerhouse behind all of today's large language models. From there, things get really practical in the optimization tier. This is where you start to think like a production engineer. It's not just about getting the right answer anymore. It's about getting it fast and getting it efficiently. You'll be diving into profiling, compressing your models, and using hardware acceleration to make everything you've built way smaller and way faster. And it all comes together in the final capstone, the Torch Olympics. How cool is that? This is where you integrate every single thing you've built into one optimized, competition-ready machine learning system. You get to put all your new skills to the ultimate test against other people. Okay, now this is where it gets really, really cool. As you go through these modules, you're not just checking off boxes or earning points. You're actually unlocking history. You literally get to recreate the most important, pivotal moments in the entire evolution of AI. The whole journey is pointed towards this one key objective, a North Star goal. You're going to train a real computer vision model on the famous CIFAR-10 dataset and get it to a competitive accuracy. And the best part? Every single piece of it, from the data loader to the convolutional layers, it's all going to be your own code.
You're literally going to walk through this timeline of breakthroughs. You'll start by building the 1957 perceptron, the first ever trainable neural network. Then you jump to 1986 and implement backpropagation, the algorithm that really made deep learning possible. You'll create the CNNs from 98 that totally cracked computer vision. And finally, you'll build the transformers from 2017 that kicked off the entire LLM revolution we're in today. It's like a hands-on museum of AI, and you're the one building all the exhibits.
So you might be thinking, this sounds like this epic journey, and it is. But the crucial thing is, it doesn't start with a mountain of complicated setup or configuration files. Nope. It starts with a simple, super accessible first step that gets you building right away. Seriously, in just 15 minutes, you can go from cloning the repo to completing your very first module.
That means in less time than it takes to watch an episode of your favorite show, you can build a foundational tensor class. I mean, think about it. That's the powerful multidimensional array that carries all the numbers through pretty much every modern neural network. And the workflow is just designed to be simple and super satisfying. You just open a notebook and write the code. When you think you've got it, you run a single command and it exports your work into the main TinyTorch package. And here's the best part. You immediately get to see if it works by running a script that imports and uses your code. It's just an incredibly rewarding feedback loop.
You know, this whole journey is about a fundamental shift. It's about going from being just a user of these frameworks to becoming a true systems engineer who gets it, right from first principles. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to stop importing and start building?
There it is. Your adventure begins right here.